Shawnee here. So we're back to my vlog about my blog. And this week, well, if I'm honest, last week, I dropped a new post about whether or not I would let my daughters read my journals from my adolescence. Now, I use this vlog to go behind the scenes. So let's put this into some context, okay? I'm 37. I have 2 daughters. I have actively kept a journal since the age of 6 years old. And I have in my possession every journal, I think, from the age of 10. So we're talking 27 years worth of life experience, my perspective, that sort of thing. And I was wondering at a certain point, because like I've been in this process of decluttering my entire life. So I've honestly turned my apartment upside down and just letting go of everything that no longer serves me. And I don't mean that in a metaphorical sense, although I am doing it in a metaphorical and spiritual sense as well. But like, just literally decluttering. I'd gotten into kind of a hoarding phase, and so I've been giving some strong consideration to like letting a lot of things go. And so I'm sitting on my floor and I'm going through, I come across an old journal as I'm going through like old papers and stuff, and I read a entry that I wrote about a very bad breakup that I was having around the age of 18 to 19 years old. And at 37, knowing the full story of how everything happened, when I reread what I wrote back then, I was utterly disgusted. Disgusted with my train of thought, disgusted with the guy that I was with. It was just bad all around. And I noticed that my perspective was very biased, very romanticized, very unrealistically optimistic. And I didn't like it. And do I chalk that up to being a fantasyful teenager, or do I chalk that up to, like, what do I chalk that up to? And how do I make that translate with my daughters? You know, they're girls, and they're very much still full of innocence, thank God. I would much rather them grow out or have their innocence mature rather than to have their innocence snatched from them, as unfortunately most women, including myself, have experienced. But at the same time, like, all these illusions of grandeur and these ideas of what relationships should be and all of this, it's like, it makes me wonder sometimes, like, is what they see every day with me and their father, like, is that real enough for them? Is that honest enough for them? Is that transparent enough for them? Are they understanding that they have a mom who can relate? So I would hope that at the very least my journals can tell my daughters, hey, when I tell you you're not thinking straight, like, I'm not judging you. I've been there. I wasn't thinking straight either. Here's the proof. You know? I would love to show them the differences between my teenage journal and my adult journals. God is really taking me through a process of being more authentic and more transparent in my journal writing for the purpose of truly being able to heal. First of all, if you don't keep a journal, I highly recommend you do. But second of all, if you do keep a journal, I highly recommend, looking back from time to time to see if you've made progress. Often we get excited about writing the vision down, but we don't do a really good job of keeping the vision in front of us. So look back at your journals. See if you either lost perspective or might need to reframe your perspective. See what healing you can get. And unexpectedly, my journals have definitely helped me in this new season in my life where I'm taking a deep dive into meditation and taking it more seriously in my life. I did the first 20 days of August, and I'll talk more about that later, but just kind of a sneak peek, it was life-changing for me. So the journals have helped in that it definitely has given me access into what was my 10-year-old self thinking, what was going through my mind in my adolescence. Can I recall it offhand? No, but my journals are right there to tell me. And I'm hoping that at some point, maybe my journals will help me to remember that at one point in my life, I wasn't too far off from where my daughters are and where they're going. That I was once a 12-year-old girl. That I was once a 7-year-old girl with, big dreams, big fantasies that weren't necessarily rooted in reality. All right, thank you guys for watching. Make sure, if you haven't read this week's blog, that you go over to Shawnee's Writing on Blogspot and check that out. And come back next week for the vlog behind the blog. Bye.